You're listening to the SojuSessions, episode 76 on the SojuTalk Nation podcast feed. I'm your host, Crispy, also known as Crispy Wonton, or simply just Anton. And on today's episode, Treasured Koala returns to the show, the OG co-host of the SojuTalk Nation podcast. And we just catch up on Kpop, concerts, and on life. She discusses kind of this transitional period in her life, going off into college, and kind of figuring things out. But still finding a way to be grounded in the clownery, the jokes that we've gotten used to over the past year and a half of doing this. And it was just nice having Koala back on the show, just to kind of see where she's at with everything. And kind of look forward to not just music and concerts, but just on everything else, on life. So I hope you guys enjoy. It's a very casual conversation this week. So just a good time having the OG back on the show. All right, let's get into it. Coming up, my chat with Koala on the SojuSessions. Joining SojuSessions and welcoming back to the show, making her triumphant return from graduating high school to getting into college to setting up her flat to be an art hipster person in the city while going to college. And again, just an influencer over in Germany, the one and only Treasured Koala. Welcome back to the show.
Hello. One thing you said is wrong. I don't have a flat right now. I'm still looking for one. The burden is crazy. Please help me get an apartment.
You're going through the struggles of the coming of age story, where it's like you've already set your sights to move, but now you're struggling, you're panicking. So now your K-drama is at this point in the season. I think episode 2. I think you're in episode 2. You're about to start. And it doesn't really pick up until maybe episode 3 or 4 that you find the flat, very luckily through.
Oh, and then my roommate is like the most perfect dude I've ever seen.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you can go that way. I was going to say your roommate is really quirky. You have the quirky roommate that takes care of you, but is really weird. And you learn.
I would have a flat. I would be very satisfied with that.
But if you want to live in a rom-com where you are paired up with a perfect male companion and you don't know how to broach that, then that is also a very good story that we will definitely follow. We're already off the rails. It's 2 minutes in. Koala, we've been trying to schedule this for a long time because you were the OG, the original co-host of the SojuTalk Nation podcast when we were infants, when we were just brand new to being on the microphone. I've gone back and listened to those first couple of episodes. Man, it was fun. It was fun times. I would say the chemistry was always there, the back and forth, but the pacing is a little off. Just the fluidity of it all. But no, we've kind of come full circle about a year and a half out of that. A lot has changed in my life, in your life. Catch us up. How have you been? And what's today look like for you? And how's everything going?
I don't know. My daily life isn't that interesting. I've been traveling sometime. I've had 4 months doing nothing after I did my A-level, so I had a lot of free time to do anything. I was in Denmark, Belgium, and Greece. Yes. Not more places. Only these 3. It was fun, but I'm quite bored by the time now, so I want to kind of start uni.
Imagine living in Europe and saying, I was quite bored after visiting 5 different countries in the span of 2 months. Us Americans honestly have no clue what that's like. We have America, it's very big, and there's a few places that are really nice to travel to, but I can't say I'm going to Italy. next weekend. I'm going to Munich. I'm going to Greece, like you did. Good.
My friends did like an interrail tour with trains, and they visited like I think 10 or 12 countries in like 2 weeks. So yeah.
God, this is talking to you Europeans, and the fact that you just have access to like so many different countries and different perspectives essentially in a lot of ways is just so weird to us because like we have different perspectives in the United States, but I think outside of the United States we're still kind of only seen as you guys are Americans. It's like, yes, unfortunately all parts of America mean that you're American, but take me through your trip. So which location did you feel like you had the most fun in, and kind of what were your favorite memories of that spot?
It's difficult to choose one because the one in Denmark was like after graduation right away with like 30 people or so. It was fun, but it was not like the touristy kind of holiday, but just like a chill holiday. And by chill, I mean drunk holiday. And Belgium was quite fun because the city was really pretty. Everything was just so much better compared to Berlin. I always say how ugly and gray Berlin is. Nothing looks good, and Belgium just looked so good. The houses just looked so kind of not royal, but they just didn't look like shit like here.
Did they look Victorian? Is it
Victorian?
Is that the categorization? I don't know what they look like. I'm asking you. You tell me.
Also, fun fact: when I was like in Brussels, apparently Coldplay was having like a 3-day concert there, and we were walking through the streets and wondering why there was like a big mass of people standing there in front of the hotel. Later on, of course, Gen Z sources through TikTok, we found out that apparently Coldplay stayed at the place, so people were like camping day and night to wait for them to come out and just scream for like 3 seconds.
Oh, so you're people. I see. So it really isn't just K-pop fans that do stuff like that. It is.
There were a lot of people.
Anyway.
Like we thought it was some kind of parade or something, but apparently it was Coldplay.
That's crazy. Wait. So let's backtrack. Denmark, a drunk holiday. So first of all, how drunk were you? And second of all, how drunk was everyone? What? Okay, so the entire time that I've known you, the running joke is that I am the alcoholic. Probably true, maybe true. I don't know. I refuse to officially admit to any such things, and I find it very hard to believe that in this entire time, not one curiosity came from you where it's like, sure, I'll get drunk once. Nothing.
I drank some stuff, but not enough to get drunk, and it didn't taste good enough for me to get more.
What'd you drink?
I don't know. It's probably some cheap teenage shit. Probably not the best thing.
Oh, dang.
Some liqueur, but I don't remember. Yeah, I don't remember the brand. It was cheap.
Well, I guess like cheap teenage alcoholism.
We had Jägermeister, but I didn't try that.
What? Oh, man. So back in my day, I was a rager kid, and I would do Jaeger bombs with Jägermeister.
Jaeger bombs. Yeah, I saw people doing Jaeger bombs. I did not.
And energy drinks, and just having a good old time. Sometimes I'd order a Jaeger bomb at a bar where typically people don't order Jaeger bombs, and I would just get like either like a dirty look from the bartender or just like a sideways like smirk. It's like, hey, these guys. Like, yeah, we're these guys, but that's beyond the point. Okay, so you went to Denmark. You went to, what was the second place you went to?
Greece.
Okay. So yes. A lot of walking, I imagine.
A lot of walking up and down the hill. Like you need to imagine the like main city center was like down the hill, and we were very much up on the hill. So every time we wanted to eat something, we had to go down like 30 minutes, and then after, imagine you're like full, you've eaten lots of stuff, and then you realize you have to walk like 30 minutes up the hill. It's not great.
And also it was balance, right?
was hella hot, so it was like 40 degrees, and you're just dying there, hoping for some taxi to arrive.
It was like 90, 95 degrees
I
Fahrenheit.
think 100 something.
I'm really good at calculations today. We've established this. This is a pre-show thing, but yes. Well, it is going to be 100 degrees today here in the Bay Area, so I feel that. I will not be leaving my house. I've closed all the windows. What was your favorite thing that you ate at Greece?
Oh, I think it was prawns. Yes, prawns with, I don't remember. It was like some mash, but not mashed potatoes, but something other mash. I don't remember it, but it was good. And there was a really nice ice cream shop where you could get nice desserts and pastries. They were very expensive, but totally worth it.
What's Greek ice cream like? Is it called anything different?
It's normal ice cream.
Okay.
No.
I don't want to offend the Greek people by saying the Italian gelato, but that's why I asked. It's like maybe it's called something else, but no, I could really use some ice cream right now. I think I'm gonna get some ice cream maybe later tonight. No, that sounds all amazing. And then what was your next stop after Greece?
After Greece, Belgium right away. Yes, Belgium. So,
Yeah.
well, I stayed a few days at my cousin's place. I don't think you know the city, so I will skip that one. But yeah, after that we took the train. Train experience was 0 out of 10. Would not recommend.
Why? What about the train system was not it?
It's never it. I know that you Americans would love a train system like we Germans do, but the execution is not the best. So we had a train booked from Aachen to Brussels, and the thing is, we were already like confused because we opened the app like 2 days prior, but randomly just checking if everything was alright. There it said the train was cancelled, but my cousin purchased the tickets, but she didn't get like an email or something. So we just went to the city on that day, and the people said, yeah, it's not gonna happen. You need to wait an hour for the next train to arrive. Great. Taking the train back, we had a reservation, but it was just so overbooked that we couldn't get to our place. We ended up standing in like the family wagon, so there was a lot of crying, a lot of screaming. People were eating like some sausage on the floor and just biting off of it. It was really disgusting, and they almost started like a fight. So people were really pissed and about to punch each other in the faces. It was a weird experience. I hate traveling with the trains here.
Maybe it's just the trains over there. But I don't have any reference. I do know I took the trains when I was in London. It was like 8 years ago now. But thankfully I had my aunt with me and she lives there, so she knew how to navigate. So I was just like, teach me. And she says this. I'm like, okay, cool. Take the tube. See, I'm from London. And then we took the train from London to Paris. So it was a pretty like easy experience for us, but I can only speak to those two locations. I don't really speak
the TGV is good. The Deutsche Bahn is bad.
So like Eastern Europe is not it. That's what you're telling me.
Germany is not it, and the problem is the German company is managing like half of the European train company. So
fun. Well, it's okay. You live and learn. You're building up all these experiences, so then you can tell all your fans when you've made it big, and you've got all these stories. So no, it's cool that I get to hear it first. Wow, amazing.
I'm not quite sure when that's gonna happen.
Yeah. And then was there one more location that you went to after?
No, just chilling here in Berlin.
Nice. Well, welcome back. I hope you're able to kind of relax before you start uni. When do you start? When is your first day of classes?
Day of classes is the 18th of October, but we have like a couple of meetings before that. Introduction stuff, I don't know.
Okay. So a little over a month now.
Yes.
Which is kind of nice. Got some time off. Have any plans, or are you just kind of laying low for the next month?
I have some birthdays to celebrate, but I don't think anything is set. Let's see.
Yeah. well, just take your time, as you start into the world. Being a 12-year-old going into college is a big thing because, being a genius child and all. So all good. We're going to talk about a little bit of music. So just ahead of time, I just asked Koala, hey, what you listening to recently? And we kind of landed on DPR Ian. He has returned with a brand new album, an art project in a lot of ways. The title of the album is Mood Swings into Order, very similar to his previous album, but the subtitle is MIITO, so it's like M2O, so part 2 of this concept. We're gonna do a kind of a brief discussion on it. So, Koala, what did you think about the visual movie, the short film that came with the release? And how did it all hit you seeing Ian kind of flourish in this really, really extravagant, creative way?
I already loved like the first teaser he released for Ballroom Extravaganza, I think, yes. But like the full video, I'm still waiting for the second one with like all the songs. It was so great, and also I was surprised to see him dancing for, I think it was Ribbon, like the one where he had the red outfit on. And I just think the artistic way of the DPR group to express themselves is really interesting, and also Ian doing more stuff with the second album also it's just so nice to see, and I'm happy to see them live in November.
Nice. We're going to touch back on that in a second, but I agree with everything you said about the visual concept. This is definitely what he's known, what he himself has kind of mastered as a creative person, but because it's so infrequent, we kind of forget like, oh no, he's kind of a master at visual storytelling. I mean, he did start essentially as a cinematographer, right? So it's just a really great coalescing of his skill set and what he has been kind of working towards in combination with like the music. I think the music itself does a really nice job of capturing the mood. Even if you didn't have the visual elements of that music video, each song tells a story in and of itself. And very much an emotional roller coaster, right? There's a lot of psychology, a lot of dips is how he described it, like dipping in his emotions and feelings and kind of his mental state. Did you relate to any of those concepts and themes as you were listening to his album and kind of seeing where he was going with the story?
I don't think it really resonates with me from the topics, but while listening to the album, you can still like feel what he felt writing those lyrics and just kind of resonate with it in some way, even though you may not have experienced those emotions yourself, because the album just flows so well with like all the songs just flow so well, and it's just nice to listen through that you can put yourself into his shoes.
Yeah, no, he does a really nice job of expressing it in a way that's accessible, but is very, very personal to him, right? I really liked Mood on the visual movie. The way it opens, it's very different than the other sections. I also feel like every section has its own personality, but the way Mood opens, it's him in a hotel room, right? And it's just the camera facing him. And it's the range of moods and emotions that he has gone through, whether it's extremes or kind of the moderate nothingness that he feels, and it's really expressed really well. What was your favorite song off the album, off the 12-track album?
I think what was it called? Was it One Shot? I think it's One Shot, either that or Ribbon. I'm not quite sure. Every time I listen to a song and I think that's my favorite one, the next song plays and I'm like, oh yeah, I love that one the most. It's really hard. It depends on the mood, I guess.
Nice. Yeah, it kind of captures a lot of that feeling that he was trying to convey, right? For me, it's Mood or Mr. Insanity. I freaking love Mr. Insanity so much because I relate to kind of that sentiment of is it me kind of thing. It's always that question, like, am I the crazy one in the room, right? It's like, do I see things correctly, or do I have clarity in the situation, or am I truly the outlier here? And I kind of love that concept. And I like the melody too. It's a very infectious melody for that song. Any closing thoughts? Any final things you want to say about DPR Ian?
I just hope he puts more music out, and I recommend everyone to listen to this album. It's really good. And also listen to the first one because it's really good.
Put both albums on a playlist. They flow really well together. I did that for about a week and a half. I was like, holy cow, he is quite good at music. He is quite good at capturing the essence and feeling of what things that he's going through on the inside. You are going to see him live. When is that show and where is it? Give me the details.
I think it's the 8th of November. I'm not quite sure. It's a Tuesday. I know that it's a Tuesday and it's in Berlin, yes. The venue got upgraded once, so I don't know right away where it is, but I hope I don't need to camp outside too long. I got the Golden Circle ticket, so I might be fine.
Yeah, double check because they could have. Is yours VIP or is it a certain tier of ticket? Okay, so there probably is VIP entry, as in they let VIP in first. Does that make sense? Yeah. So kind of figure out where.
There's a time you need to come to because you've got to take photos before the show, but I don't know when. And also with uni, I don't know when I will be available. I may just skip the day.
You're uni, bro. Like, what is a schedule? Just whatever. As long as you don't have an exam that day, life is flexible to you. You are living your life. I'm seeing DPR, the Dream World. Is it Dream? No, Regime World Tour. Wow, I cannot read.
World, yes.
Regime World Tour. I'm seeing them all October 7th on a Friday in San Francisco. So
a month before me. Gotta report back how the concert was, Crispy.
100%. I'm taking the BART, the Bay Area Rapid Transit, to there. I'm pretty much just doing that anytime I go to San Francisco, unless the venue is kind of like off the train station railway, which I did for Luna, but we'll kind of get into it now. So over the past 3 weeks, I've been to a lot of shows and a lot of concerts. If you caught up the previous 2 episodes, we did do a KCON recap for both. One with my dear friend Emily Heidel, great entertainment consultant, host, friend to many K-pop artists. So please check that one out. And then in the August K-pop recap for this past month, the 2 friends Luke and Reach joined the show. They were also my buddies throughout that entire weekend for KCON. We hung out for the convention, we hung out for the concert, and after the concert, then we recapped kind of the entirety of KCON from our experiences at that point. So, but after that, immediately after that, I went to see Card on Wednesday in San Jose with my friend Tiffy. She's been on the show in the past. Koala, do you listen to Card? Are you familiar with their music?
I've listened to like the early Cards when they didn't officially debut, but like put singles out. And the latest stuff I have not been quite a fan of. It's like on and off. Yeah. Like some stuff of theirs is just too loud for me. But I like their early days. I like that a lot. Yeah,
I will say. So I went and listened to all of Card's music before the show, over the past like 2 days before the show. So I knew a lot of the songs already before the re-listen. The one thing I will say about Card is they have a genre and they're really good at doing that genre. Whether that means that you want something fresh and new from them and that kind of might not meet your expectation of like evolving K-pop, but I think they do the Moombahton tropical house thing really well and it plays really well live. So I'm more just happy for them as a group that they can tour again because I think that's where they can have the most success. Because that was crazy. It was popping. People, not just women, men. I was like 60% men were telling BM to take it off every like 10 minutes. And then he would like tease and he was like, oh, you guys are crazy. And he was just mess with us. BM himself, a great stage presence. He is the California kid. He is the Korean American. So he definitely did the most speaking. But yeah, I think he just played it really well. If you know BM from his Dive Studios work, he's just like that. He's super casual and relaxed and he's great. Well, do you know what Somin looks like?
Yes.
I will tell you, I was probably like maybe like 100 feet away from the stage. Like maybe a good like basketball court length away from the stage, right? I could still see her abs from where I was at. I was like, what the fuck is this? I was like, girl, what? Explain. It's like, because like K-pop artists, men and women, right, typically have like a K-pop physique, right? It's not like a bodybuilding physique. It's not like an athletic physique. Sometimes it's it's a very like almost like a supermodel-esque physique, where like the muscle definition isn't necessarily like the bodybuilding type definition. But Somin, what? Just excuse me. I don't think you're supposed to look like that, but at the same time, she pulls it off great, and shout out to her. And then I went to Japanese breakfast 2 days later, in Stanford, which is like 20 minutes from where I live in Palo Alto. The venue is an amphitheater. Have you ever been in an amphitheater?
Nope.
So it's like an outdoor venue. It's really nice. It's right on Stanford's campus, and it's on a hill, going sloped into the stage. So every spot that you can find, you had a great view because it was all sloped, and if people were standing, you could see over their heads. It was a music festival, so half of it was people who were there for the festival, and then like maybe a third were for Japanese breakfast. So as soon as she came on, I moved to the front. I had a great spot. I was like elevated, and yeah, it was just she put on a really good performance. Have you gone around to see to listen to Japanese breakfast?
I haven't yet. I just never come around. I have so many artists on my waiting list. It's a shame.
That's okay. Japanese breakfast is a hipster music. I love Michelle Zauner.
You're a hipster.
Thank you. I think what means a lot to me is the fact that I kind of followed her journey from the start of Crying in H Mart. All thanks to K Music Every Day, KME, and Zondi. They were the first two to really, encourage me to read that book when it first came out. And I just emotionally connected with that in such a way that it made her music far more meaningful and everything that she's done up until this point. So yeah, shout out to her and the band. The band's great. Her husband is there too. So awesome. And then take a little break until this past Friday. I went back to San Francisco. I took the BART because the train drops me off right in front of the venue, like 4 minutes away. It's to see Joji Smithereens in San Francisco. So you know Joji. For those who don't know Joji, describe his music to them.
Oh, sad boy. Oh.
Sad boy. What makes his sad boy brand different than other sad boy brands?
I can't quite explain it, but just listen to Glimpse of Us and you'll know. It's just really interesting. Also his career, how he went from that one meme pink guy to now being in 88 Rising, just expressing himself through music. Just great. Yeah.
Joji's really I think he went through the most he's from United States. He went through a more typical Western trajectory of like music, right? Where you're kind of an indie artist. You're trying real hard to break through, trying to find like your spot. So he kind of made a joke about like himself, kind of playing into like the self-deprecating nature of like the music. And then he kind of spun that off into just making really, really high quality music, and then slowly building relationships and collabing with like a million people like that are really great in like hip hop and R&B. His music style, I would say, sonically, the beats are very like lo-fi almost, or it's very hip hop based, but there's a very minimalistic feel to it. A lot of distorted, just weird sounds, not just with like the instruments, but also his voice. And then very just moody, where he's just almost like dragging his voice through the song to kind of tell you how he feels about certain things. I would say his newest song, Glimpse of You, right? Glimpse of Us?
Glimpse of Us?
Glimpse of Us? I'm a bad fan. Glimpse of Us. I think it's Us. I'm pretty sure it's Us too. That one is the most polished song of all the songs, just because like it's, over the course of time, he got better as an artist. But that will give you a really good sense of just like how emotionally low you can feel listening to his music. Don't watch the music video. Oh, so describe it. Like, what did you think when you saw that music video?
I was very confused because like the visuals kind of didn't match the lyrics for me at first glance. I also just the style with like I don't know how to call it, but just the old camera style and everything. I didn't quite get it at first. It
I,
was just a lot.
I don't think anyone understood what that was supposed to be. So to kind of recap it, it's shot as if it was an old VHS tape, just a handheld.
That's how you call it.
Yes, I am 90. I used this before. And it's kind of done almost like Jackass style. If you know Jackass, like the movie or TV show where they do pranks, like real world pranks with people to kind of evoke a response, a reaction from them, right? And they're like blowing things up and they're doing like really super immature things, but it's all like self-destructive to a point. They show a lot of like images of different home settings that are in low income or underserved areas that are just like really really gets you tense, right? It's like, oh, like stuff happened here, while all the same time like we think it's Joji, he's in a mask, but causing havoc and chaos, like climbing over fences and like in empty pools and stuff. All of this does not match the song. But the thing is, the song is edited to this music video, so it actually matches the beats of the editing. No connection to the song at all. So if you are curious about what happens in Joji's mind, sure, watch the music video. Maybe watch it without watch it muted. But if you like the song, yeah. But if you like the song, just listen to this song because I think it's a fantastic song. I think it does a really nice job of capturing like the pain and emotion of parting with someone that you connected with, right? So to the show, it was at the Bill Graham Civic Center Auditorium, really big venue. That venue has housed many raves in the past. I will just say that. The crowd is very ravey. A lot of ABGs in the Bay Area. Oh, so you know what that is. You know, I will just leave it there. If you want to look it up, internet, feel free. But yes, ABGs are still very much a thing in the United States and California. I run into them, I guess, more frequently than I would imagine. I'll say that.
Oh man.
Because they come out for Joji.
Yeah, I guess it fits music.
Yeah. I helped two girls who damn near passed out.
Damn.
It was 30 minutes before Joji came on. And but the thing is, they were with our group, they were with their friends. Both of them were being carried by a guy, presumably the boyfriend or like a good friend. And then they both essentially like lost their legs and just like kind of collapsed. And then the guy like looked up and he looked at me and he goes, help. And I was like, oh, I got you. So I picked them both up, separately in two separate scenarios. The second time it happened, I helped bring the girl to the wall to have her sit down. And then she kind of came to. But it was one of those cases where she completely her eyes were open, but like her body, like her spirit left her body. And it was just like, oh wow, she became like dead weight for like a good 30 seconds. It's like, wow, what happened? But she didn't throw up, nothing happened. She just kind of like woke up and like was okay. I got them water, and I said, okay, well, hope you guys are fine, because I think the best thing to do is give them space if they have their people, right? There was like 4 or 5 of them, so I think she was fine. But yeah, that was me. I did not get drunk. I was very responsible. I was just enjoying myself, vibing to Joji.
So crying to Joji.
So the thing is, Joji's music is a very cry-worthy music, but his sets are chaotic as fuck. Like in between songs, he just like yells at us or just like makes jokes or like says like weird shit, and it's like, oh yeah, this is good. I would say this set was very choppy. I don't know how else to put that, but it just, I think he intentionally wanted to like just tell jokes a lot of the time, which is on brand, and you know, that's fine. The visuals were great. Stage was great. I would say his 88 Rising set last year, I enjoyed that more, but I think being in an enclosed space just for Joji was really nice. So there you go. The next show I got is Nikki. September 14th and September 17th. I'm seeing her twice. Yeah.
How is your voice still there?
Oh, so good question. After KCON, I did not have a voice. For an entire week. So I was supposed to record with Emily like maybe Thursday of that week. I was struggling. I was like, please, 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 please. And then my internet cut out on Thursday, so we rescheduled to Friday. But that was good because I got my voice back. I was like, all right, cool. Yeah, at this point, I think I'm just like not screaming and yelling anymore. I'm just saving my voice. So we'll see how that goes. Koala, what do you have? What are you looking forward to as far as like shows and? Yeah, well, let's start there. What are you looking forward to as far as shows? Are you going to anything else besides DPR?
No one is coming to Europe. I'm crying. I mean, Luna is coming to Europe, but I'm not really a Luna stan.
Yeah,
I don't think they're coming to Berlin. I think they're coming to like Frankfurt.
Yeah,
not quite sure. And 17 just never decided to come to Europe, so I'm low-key pissed.
Damn, yeah. Canada just popped off. They had 2 shows? 17 had 2 shows in Canada? Oh.
2 or 3, I don't quite remember.
Yeah. Shout out to Aura and
I think Nina went there as well.
Nina and Daniel. Yeah. They were super happy to go. So well, hopefully you get to go to a show. What's uni look like for you in the fall?
We don't have. There are no infos out yet. I don't have any clue, sir.
Oh. So do you suspect that you will want to stay on the track that you are, or are you the kind of person that, I mean, it's hard to anticipate, right? But do you feel like if you were exposed to more experiences that you could change your mind, or you could find a different interest that you attach to more deeply than law?
I'm always open to something new, but I don't really think I will change my mind, to be honest. I'm pretty set on it. And also, if I like think halfway through that I don't want to do it anymore, it's kind of a waste of time. but the law degree just takes so long, so I may change my mind.
Yeah.
I don't know.
My best advice for you is just be flexible. Just know that, yeah, you may have invested a certain amount of time into something, but it's an economics concept. It's a sunk cost fallacy, right? So just because you've invested a certain amount of time in it doesn't mean that you should continue to invest time into it in something that you don't want to do, right? Same thing with money. People get broke trying to chase wins and gambling. It's like, I've already lost $1,000. What's another 1,000? It's like, well, not losing 1,000 is also a thing. But yeah, just kind of be flexible with it. Because put it this way, you are the sum of all of your experiences, right, in your past history. So everything that you do in school from this point on is setting you up or giving you an experience or perspective that you just didn't have prior to it. Right. So even if you say like 2 years down the line, you changed and you stopped, those 2 years are still valuable because they helped you become a different person. Now, whether or not that's in the direction of law or in something else, again, that's, I can't tell the future, but it's all cumulative, right? So, and I also feel like you're smart enough and like just you got a good head on your shoulders. You're a good kid. You're a good egg. You're a good trainee, and now you're a 14-year-old debut with some old jeans. And I think you'll do fine. You'll do great. Well, I have some other things to ask you about, just like going back into the real world. So we spent the majority of our life over the past 2 years on the internet. I mean, yes. Us as a royal us as in everyone, right? And you've gone back into the real world, I feel like, a lot sooner than a lot of people. How do you compare kind of what people have been like on the internet and then how they've taken themselves out of it and kind of interacted or reintegrated back into the real world society and like talk to people Was
I think for some it's pretty difficult. Not gonna lie.
what have you
I've seen,
seen?
and for instance, I know some people that just also because they the corona hit when they had their graduation, so it was also like an environment restart for them, and they had it pretty hard to like get to know new people in uni, especially with online schooling and stuff. So I think it's been hard on people. I'm lucky to have a group of friends that keeps in touch every now and then. So we still meet up every 2 weeks at least. It's fine, but some people probably really take it harder than me, especially if you're like really introverted and need to meet new people and get to know new people and can't just stay in your what is the English word?
Bubble? Social
I
group?
don't remember. Let's just stop it there.
Um, how have you grown and changed over the past 2 years? Are there any noticeable differences in how like you see the world now that you're out of high school and trying to become an adult?
I probably have changed, just not as too much for me to notice. I guess people that know me personally could say more about that than I myself. I don't really keep track of it. I'm, I mean, I'm more prone to keep my eyes open for specific topics more than I did in the past. So I'm probably changed. I don't know whether positive or negatively.
Would you say that your group of friends is similar to you or more different than how you feel like you represent yourself?
I think they're pretty. Would it be? I think it's similar. Yeah.
With that similarity, then how do you feel like your friends kind of reflect you as a person and kind of the way that you can see yourself into them? If that makes sense.
Oh, they 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 were very much kids 2 years ago. They've grown a lot, especially because my friend group is like mainly consisting out of dudes that are also like a year younger than me. So they've grown a lot, like emotionally, just generally very, also just at expressing themselves. Yeah.
Nice. Is there something that you've expressed recently that you surprised yourself of just how open you were of expressing? Whether that's to family, to friends, or during any kind of celebration, during graduation.
I don't. I mean, I don't think so. I don't think so. It probably will just come in the next few weeks with uni starting.
Yeah. Well, God, you have so much life ahead of you. Wow, must be nice not being 90. Crazy. Well, as closing thoughts, do you have any words of wisdom you'd like to give the SojuTalk Nation community and everyone listening? Do you have anything, any words of wisdom that you would like for them to hope on, just to kind of give them a positive note, a spin moving into the rest of their own lives?
I'm not really wise, Crispy. Why doing that to me? But looking in hindsight, 2021 was pretty hard on me, and even though it was not really easy to get through it, I've had nice people that helped me. So I think even though you are at a difficult point in your life, you will get over it. Some are ups and downs in life. I just hope you will reach out to people that are happy and ready to help you at any time, any moment. Yeah.
I
I
mean, you're
don't
not
know.
wise. That was great because I think too often it's really easy to recoil and shut yourself off from other people, right? Especially during challenging times. And I think that is a piece of wisdom. Don't be afraid to reach out to anyone because I think people are more willing to help than you think. I think is just something that I've learned in my 90 years of existence. So yeah. Well, Koala, this was fun. Um, You know, next time I'll give you actual music to study so you can actually talk about it. I think for the most part, we just wanted to, catch up and just to see where we're at. And
Yes, I'm alive. Hi.
I know.
I'm not dead.
Well, when you get your flat in Berlin and you get like internet that's not connected to like your entire family, then we can do more shows. You'll be on a student schedule, so that's perfect because then you don't have to go to school certain days. You could just come record. No, definitely need to have you back on more often because kind of reflecting on a year and a half, 2 years. When did we start the show? 2021, January, of the show, and just like how far it's come. I always go back to the start, right? Where, it's always the people that you begin with. And there's always a reason why those people are in your life. And you, OP, and Kesh are very important children. Like great grandchildren apparently to me. So I do appreciate that you guys are here and I've just stuck around and hung out with the 90-year-old. So that's kind of cool.
Yes.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you everyone for listening to the Soju Sessions on the SojuTalk Nation podcast feed. Subscribe on YouTube, follow on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you listen to podcasts, and continue the conversation on the SojuTalk K-pop podcast Discord. For Koala, I'm Crispy, and this has been the Soju Sessions.